So this is my official 2025 NFL Draft tight end rankings. Now, how I did this was I looked at some film, I looked at overall rankings, I got feedback from a bunch of other people, I took feedback off of any free websites I could get, and kind of made it consensus, and then also factored in my own rankings, what I saw on film, and this is what I got for the tight end rankings. Now, with the honorable mention is Jalen Conyers out of Texas Tech. Offers good size and play strength on the line of scrimmage, but there's a problem there with the blocking. The blocking reps could use some work. So he doesn't crack the list quite yet. So he's a fun product. He's got some upside in the receiving game, and he's pretty good in short yardage situations. But again, he doesn't crack the top 10 here. Number 10, we have Oronde Gadsden, the second out of Syracuse. Now, he's got a big catch radius, long arms. That's a huge positive for a tight end. That's one thing I mainly look for. But the blocking is kind of an issue, and I wish he could improve that a little bit. Now, could somebody just kind of spend an offseason with him and improve that blocking technique? Absolutely. That kind of moves me to my number 9 tight end, who is the best blocking tight end in this draft, in Jackson Hawes out of Georgia Tech. Now, there's a very limited receiving profile for him. He's great in the blocking game, but I want to be able to see some separation out of my tight end, at least in some intermediate routes, and I don't really see that with him. So that's why he kind of gets this 9-spot ranking. Now, number 8, that brings me to one of the men who played in the national championship, Mitchell Evans out of Notre Dame. Now, he's got slot ability, absolutely. I saw that consistently on tape, especially all throughout the CFP. He has that slot ability. That's one thing I really like about him. He's not a huge separator. Definitely needs to work on that a little bit. There's some NFL defenders, especially bigger and faster linebackers, that can kind of hold their own with him. Now, there also is a little bit of durability concern, so kind of do with that what you will. Number 7 is Terrence Ferguson, another big CFP guy. Now, he's great in the slot. He gets good mismatches. I really like that about him, but he's not a dominant blocker. He's not a force in the run game like you would expect out of a guy that when you're consistently lining up in 12 personnel, when you want 2 running backs in the game, when you want 2 tight ends in the game, you kind of want that second guy being able to block. Now, he's not a super high ceiling player either, so you're kind of toying with he's got the receiving aspect, but he's not as good of a blocker, so where are we going to find room for him on the field? So kind of needs to work on that technique and effort as a blocker to truly become a 3-down tight end in the league. Now, this comes to Gunnar Helm, which honestly was a really intriguing guy for me. Out of the rankings, like the consensus rankings, he never went above 5 and he never went below 7. It was kind of insane. He ranks right in at 6 here. He's got great size. He's got a good frame to fit the tight end position in the NFL. He's got very good hands, and he's got a decent route tree. Not a fantastic route tree, not like a Colston Loveland, who we're going to get to in a minute, but he's got a good route tree, and it's somewhat refined enough to be at least moderately successful in the NFL. Now, he does lack some of the play strength you want from a guy who's that big. Struggles against bigger, stronger defenders, so you got to kind of work on that with him. So that brings us into the top 5. And at number 5, we're sitting with Elijah Arroyo out of Miami. Now, some analysts have this guy as a top 3 tight end. He's like a darling for some analysts. Now, I definitely see why they're darlings. He popped off the Senior Bowl. He has great big playability as a tight end. Kind of just reminds you of a little bit of Brock Bowers with that kind of separation and contested catchability. But he's the developmental aspect of his game. He definitely needs development in the blocking game. He has a little bit of durability concerns, so you're kind of looking at that, wondering kind of what are we getting on the durability side of things. Like, it's a little like TJ Hawkinson, I guess. It's probably a better comparison to him. A guy where you're not 100% sure of the durability, but you're somewhat sure of at least he's going to be somewhat productive in this league. This is a very underrated class. I definitely see some pro-ready guys. There are guys who have high-end Pro Bowl potential in this class. I think Arroyo's definitely one of them. Now, we move to number 4, and it is some action with Harold Fannin out of Bowling Green, who had an unbelievable statistical profile in terms of production. Very versatile. He can line up as another wide receiver in a trips formation, or he can kind of work his way into the slot a little bit. Now, 230 pounds as a tight end, not a great weight profile to have. Definitely needs to put on a bit. And lack of competition, just playing in the MAC overall, kind of warrants him around the spot. But nobody is taking away 117 catches from last year and an unbelievable profile, about 10 touchdowns, I believe. Mason Taylor at number 3 out of LSU. Now, he's got good technique. He's also got some good genes. He's the son of Jason Taylor, a Hall of Famer. So that probably bodes well for him a little bit. Now, he does have limited experience as an inline tight end, so that could kind of affect his blocking ability. I don't see a team necessarily being like, oh, let's specifically use him in an inline scenario. Maybe kind of like a Mark Andrews type of role where he's relied upon in the middle of the field in the intermediate depth as well, but also can kind of hold his own in the blocking game. You don't need to like rely on him and be like, okay, you're our 6th offensive lineman, like go stop Jalen Walker off the edge, like, or stop Micah Parsons or stop Myles Garrett or whoever. Like, you kind of just want that guy who can come in and lock it down in a blocking sense. Now, number 2 and number 1 are fairly consensus at this point. Number 2 is going to be Colston Loveland out of Michigan. Ohio kid, he's a farm boy. Now, he's got great route running in the intermediate game. He's got a very developed route tree, which I always love to see out of my tight ends. Probably the best developed route tree in the entire class. Now, the blocking technique and the play strength are a little bit of a work in progress. The contested catch is a little iffy to me. I want to see a little bit more strength out of contested catch scenarios. But he does have an ability to separate. I saw that quite a bit watching Michigan tape. He's the tight end I've watched the most out of this class. Even when I wasn't scouting, I was still watching this kid play. Unbelievable talent. He is a national champion, by the way, so he's got that championship pedigree that one is looking for on their team. And number 1, we all know who it is. There was only one site that had Tyler Warren outside of number 1. He definitely has that inline tight end ability, but he also kind of has that Rob Gronkowski ability where he catches the ball and he just doesn't go down. He'll make a sick one-handed catch, and then he won't go down if he's got 3 guys draped all over him and he is not going down whatsoever. His favorite player was John Riggins, so that kind of speaks to his ability to just never go down no matter what. And, like, we're being nitpicky about his weaknesses here. His weakness to me was just vertical separation. Like, he doesn't have the high-end speed to get vertical. So he'll probably, that route probably just won't be in his tree at all. Or if it is, it's a complete decoy. So that wraps up my tight end rankings. Make sure to like and subscribe. Only like 12% of you watching are subscribed, so please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. And we're going to knock out some more positional ranking videos as the week goes on, and in the next week, we're going to wrap up all the positions by draft time. So catch you then. 6:15 live stream. See you then.